All right, guys, good afternoon. Welcome aboard to the Aftermarket Recap. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thanks again for taking the time out of your day to join me today and every afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, click on that white logo, turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel, make sure to hit that like button. Appreciate it, as always, all the support. Just want to start the video by giving a somber note. There was some news out of Texas. 14 students and one teacher are dead at Robb Elementary School in Texas. This is absolutely horrible to see. As you know, we had another mass shooting, I think about a week and a half ago. It's just terrible to see, regardless of what your political views are. I think at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and the fact that seeing children hurt in a shooting is absolutely despicable. And sometimes we get kind of to the point of numb to this kind of news. I know I look at news all day, every day, market stuff, but you know, just the fact of seeing children, I mean, being victim to gun violence is absolutely abhorrent. And it's unfortunate to read that and kind of look at it like, just I mean, just what do you say to that? Just so thoughts and prayers to those families over there. Can't imagine the grief they're going through. So we'll keep it with economic news. Let's talk about it. The Dow was up today, up 48 points at close. Nasdaq down 2.35%. That Snapchat move really did hurt the broader market. We'll go over that in a second. The S&P down 0.81%, staged a late comeback towards the end of the day. Not enough to get green, but again, a nice bounce. We'll go over those levels as well. The VIX closed up 3.41% at 29.45. Small caps, IWM down 1.48%, 175.57. The dollar index fell today. We'll talk about that implication on the economic backdrop, 0.31%. 10-year treasuries fell on a very strong 2-year bond auction. I stated that on Instagram, 2.76% on a 10-year. We also had housing data that came in softer than expected. Pending home sales were softer than expected, but still growing. Median house values are still growing. Obviously, we get the mortgage applications, I believe, tomorrow. We'll retweet that out as we go. But bond prices are going higher. You can see TLT. I have a chart here at the bottom, up nearly 2% on the day. I do have a position in TLT. I do own some. Gold up 0.75%. So the dollar weakening did help the metals today. Silver, again, I still have my silver position. It's red. Take a look at high yield credit. Again, look at bonds getting bid, 0.6%. Investment grade bonds up 0.31%. So a nice day in the fixed income world. Crude oil, even with the dollar being down today, was flat, pretty much red, 110 a barrel. Remember, we were talking about that earlier today about energy stocks and everything, and they did well today, obviously. Gasoline up 0.19%, 368 a gallon. And taking a look at Bitcoin with a nice late day charge, kind of hovering near 30,000, 29,415, up 1.38%. Ethereum down 0.71% at 1963. Those are the futures contract prices for crypto. That changes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the spot price. As we know, futures only go when future sessions are open. Okay, so what in the heck happened today? Well, looking at the Dow, basically you could deduct that value was being rotated in. Growth was taken out as Snap gave its dire forecast. Again, that's a big deal because that's ad revenue spent from companies. So if companies are cutting back on ad spend, that's going to permeate throughout the entire economy. That'd be another shoe to drop, obviously. So again, that's how Google went down today. Google was down, let's see if I can get the price here, 5%. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Google down 5% in that same ad space. Again, communication services, which was probably the worst sector performing today. Facebook down 7.62%. I guess if you want to lump in Netflix and Disney, even though they really don't have ads, it's more media. But again, Snapchat really putting the trigger on these growth companies. Microsoft, not too bad, did okay, down 0.40% against the Nasdaq that was down nearly 2.5%. Let's just say nearly 2.35%. Chips, Nvidia does report this week, I believe tomorrow. So again, the chips are holding their breath. Apple down nearly 2% today. The banks kind of mixed, but JPM on their investor day, very strong day today. Healthcare, nice, again, value getting bid. UNH, my favorite. Amazon, Tesla, look at that. Tesla continue to go down. Twitter continues to go down below, I think it's about 30% below the stock offering price that Elon Musk did. Take a look at utilities. Anything that's paying out dividends, that's where the money flow is going. Again, dividend paying value stocks, unless your name is Boeing, which doesn't have a dividend because they're, obviously are not doing so well in terms of their revenues and profit margins and EPS. But again, the defensives did well today. Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, Walmart. To price be damned. Right now, everyone's trying to go to flight to safety. We could see that in 10-year yield treasuries. We talked about that. What's important? Is this a more of an appetite for credit in terms of investment grade and high yield? I say yes. That's pretty nice to get fixed income getting a bid, as bond markets are not supposed to move this way. They're not supposed to move this way. You don't get these kind of moves in the treasury market. Usually treasury notes and bonds are pretty stable, up and down little by little. Think of savings bonds when you were a kid. You get that little savings bond, you put in the safe, in 18 years, you make $100, if that, if you're lucky. But think of it that way. Again, very boring, kind of the Big Short in the intro where they were talking about bonds, kind of the same deal. So let's kind of take a look at some price action moves today. And I was blogging about this today. We did have this fall. Obviously, we had a gap down. And we talked about this gap fill level. Remember, 39.05. We did not fill that yesterday. We finally did. We overshot it, bounced right around 1:30, 1 o'clock, right after the lunchtime snooze. Right around 11, before lunchtime snooze. And then we continue to grind higher. We do have a gap to fill, guys, at 39.72. So make sure to place that alert there. Maybe if you're a futures trader or not, that'd be a very good TP, which would be profit target or target profit, however you want to say it. We'll put a line there to make sure that we have the exact line that we want. Did I get the exact levels? There you go. That looks pretty good. And that's our gap fill. So 39.72 is what I'm expecting next. That's about 22 points from now. We should get that probably overnight. That'd be nice if we get a nice gap up. But again, I wouldn't be too excited until we start breaking above 39.81. Tomorrow is FOMC meeting minutes. Take a look at the economic backdrop in terms of the dollar. Why is this important? I talked about this on the blog. I'll read it to you verbatim. Let's see if I can get you that info. What this is. Here we go. Okay, so the dollar, I did the price index and now price action analysis charting, what have you. So here's what it did, and this was earlier today. So at 10:43 a.m. And I said, let's talk about the dollar and why that matters. Lower dollar helps multinational corporations offset FX currency costs, which where a stronger dollar hurts their EPS from emerging markets and around the globe. Example, Apple makes 1 billion equivalent in Japan as an example, while they receive the payments in the native country, yen, Japanese yen. Well, if the yen is weaker against the dollar, think dollar yen, and from my Forex traders, well, in order to bring that revenue home, they have to convert that yen into dollar. Stronger dollar means that more yen to convert, costs more yen to convert. That hits the books as revenue hit due to FX, foreign exchange headwinds, or when they say in conference calls, FX cross-currency headwinds, and the opposite when the dollar is weak, when you get it as a tailwind, as a net benefit to companies' numbers if you are a multinational company. That's why the dollar is important. So let's go ahead and break it down on the daily. And you can see 101.62 was tapped. That's a big Fibonacci level. We'll probably go break down. I think if we kind of continue breaking down that 50-day moving average, sub 100 is definitely in the cards, 98, 97. That helps that economic backdrop. Treasury yields should come down a little bit. Bonds should be continued to bid. Commodities will benefit. So again, as long as Bitcoin has a bid, gold, silver, commodities will be bid as a dollar index goes lower. Crude being at the mercy of Russia, Ukraine, at the mercy of, inventory builds is kind of a unique situation with the dollar. Obviously, a stronger dollar helps in terms of price of crude oil or gas. But you can see today, even with a lower dollar, very marginal moves in crude oil, as you can see here. Again, head and shoulders pattern on the dollar. We talked about that. Look at crude oil, pretty much choppy in range. Kind of stuck between that 110 level, 105 being the downside, 115 being in the upside. So energy stocks are I think it's being more appealing because of their value in terms of dividend payouts and price to earnings. Again, valuation matters, guys. Very, very important. What you pay for things matters. Let's go and take a look at the VIX, and then we'll take a look at bonds. VIX kind of chopped around for a little bit. We do have a gap fill on the opposite side of ES. Again, this is an index, not tradable. So again, use price action for an index at your own peril. 28.51. That seems to be the gap fill. We should get down there maybe the next couple days or so. There's no time limit on that. Quick look at bonds. Again, kind of that triple top. We did kind of break above it. I expect us to go higher, possibly to 122.56. And then if we go pull up a daily on that, we have a lot more to go if we want bonds to go a lot lower, that's for sure. So if you were looking to refinance in the future at a good rate, you have to kind of look back on TLT as kind of your guide. So with that being said, we'll bring up a 2-year chart and we'll go back to 2021 when things were, let's just say, a little more attractive for borrowers, let's just say. You can see kind of this cross section here. You're pretty much your target price is right around 147. If you can get 147 on TLT, mortgage rates will go down. I don't think that'll happen tomorrow or even the next couple of months, but slowly grinding higher. Let's see if we can get that. We have a couple of gaps to fill in the upside, but obviously, if you're looking to refi, sub 3%, this seems to be the moneymaker, 147. So keep that in the back of your head for TLT. Let's get to the questions. Good afternoon. Belligerent thoughts on NVIDIA earnings. Tesla to 500. Well, NVIDIA does report, I believe, tomorrow. So we'll take a look at that. Remember, there's two things when it comes to earnings. Remember, in absolute, there's no such thing as good news or bad news. It depends on perspective, right? There's no absolutes. So taking a look at NVIDIA, they can have a great quarter, but the stock could sell off. It could be guidance, it could be anything. Or you could have a bad quarter and the stock rallies. So it's more of the question is, do I think NVIDIA will have good earnings? I do. AMD did well. I think NVIDIA will do well. Now, in terms of the actual reaction to it, that remains to be seen. That's a tough one to call based on valuation. If they stick to the same guidance on a forward PE, NVIDIA is still expensive. Now, in terms to PEG ratio, PEG, price to earnings growth multiple, I think NVIDIA is a little more expensive, but they earn a premium. Obviously, they've been very good to shareholders. They do pay a dividend, small one, mind you. But 2506 on a forward guidance, if they renew that guidance or if they get better earnings, I think NVIDIA is fine long term. But again, you have a lot of levels to look at too. So if you're looking at NVIDIA, you have a gap to fill, guys, at 146. That could fill on an over the day tape in terms of aftermarket. That's definitely in the possibility there. And I'll be honest with you guys. That sounds very enticing to probably buy there. But I have 117.73. That's a retest of the March lows in 2021. That's not even COVID lows, mind you. So we got a lot more to go there. You could see that was right here. This is March of 2021, mind you. We were a lot lower during COVID. If I zoom it out, let's go to the 2-year. See if I can get a 2-year chart here. And yeah, you can see how low it's gotten. We're right near 81. I'll bring up a 3-week to kind of give us a little more perspective since we're almost 2 years out of COVID in terms of the throes of COVID. You could see how low we got during COVID. It was around $44, especially this is split adjusted, mind you. So again, 117.73. I think that's a green light for me to add to my position on NVIDIA. I love the company. I love what they're doing with AI. So the question really is, what's the expectation of price action afterwards? Tough to call, especially with valuation, but I think they have a good earnings report. I wish I could be more concrete on what they do. I think it will rally into the earnings. If you want to get out of NVIDIA, that's a good opportunity to do so. I'm not personally, but I will be watching very closely. I will not be trading NVIDIA. I will be careful. But last time I did put protection on a stock was Roku on earnings, and it soared. Well, it moved up, and then we fell. So there you go. Out of the money. Puts went to hell. Cheap insurance, but either way. That's where we are for the day, guys. So a lot of moving parts in the market. But again, I'm liking the backdrop here of where the dollar is going. I think that's given me a lot more solace that will probably go higher. My target for the week, end of the week, this week, as long as the dollar continues to go down, I'm going to be bullish here. I'm going to say 41.01. We'll test those Russian invasion lows, and then we'll see where we get there. Second case would be 40.43. I think that's my base case. 41.01 will be my bull case. Bear case, 38.50. So that's a pretty good forecast. Kind of wide, but let's just say it's Partly cloudy with sunshine, I guess, if you want to call it that. Either way, guys, have a great rest of your afternoon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note, and we'll see you at 9 a.m. Have a good one, guys.